years ago we talked to Tom Moore, then at Indianapolis, the offensive coordinator. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose, and it's alive.
I have never seen this before in my life. Watch this. Vince Wilfork is going to throw Brandon Moore back into his quarterback. He's going to fumble the football. This is what Reggie White used to do to people, forklift them and just lift them off the ground. Mark Sanchez not expecting it, and it was the backside of Brandon Moore that knocked the ball out.
Unstoppable plays of the week, presented by Oikos 000.
3rd down and 12. Wentz can't find anyone, spins away, under pressure, still on his feet. Now he fires downfield, and it's caught by Nelson Aguilar for an Eagles touchdown. 58 yards.
Put that all on Carson Wentz. He made this happen with the time that he bought himself after this pocket started to collapse. Touchdown, Eagles.
3rd down and 8. Wide open. And making a catch. And cutting back to the inside and getting into the end zone. The first time he touches the ball as a Panther is Russell Shepard. How about that?
Russell Shepard securing that football. Nice run after catch moves.
3rd down and 3. Ryan, pressure, in trouble, lets it fly deep, wide open is Austin Hooper. Now it's a foot race. Stiff arm against Debs. Hooper is gonna go. Touchdown. 88 yards.
Cousins to Thompson again. Chris Thompson stays on his feet. He's in. Touchdown.
Just an outstanding effort play by Chris Thompson. Kirk Cousins has tough deal getting the ball out to him, but look at this. Missed tackle, broken tackle, stay on your feet, finish in the end zone. Great job.
Carr. Again, it's Hooper twisted down. No, he's not down yet. Moves the pile, looking and fighting for the goal line. I tell you, it's close, and it's ruled a touchdown from the far side. What an effort by Amari Cooper. He put on weight in the offseason. Carr was concerned about that weight. He said, hey, it's muscle. I've been working out. He got stronger, and he showed it here.
Hey, Raider fans, Elliot Harrison here, doing the NFL.com and NFL Network Power Rankings. And I tell you what, been doing it for a long time, 7 years, and it's been a while since the Raiders have been this high in the regular season. 2 spots up from 6. Some people think I could have put them higher above New England. I didn't want to punish the Patriots for not beating the Chiefs when that's a team that's really been the Raiders' nemesis. So I am being a little conservative for now. Either way, impressive to go on the road and play a team that a lot of people expect to win the AFC South. Marshawn Lynch may not have been devastating. The guy didn't run for 180 yards, but he had a quietly effective game. You see how physical these runs are, and they don't need him to be a 12 or 1,300 yard back. They just need him to provide balance. My colleague MJD always mentions the Raiders are a passing offense. This guy just is going to keep the defenses honest. Raiders at 4 in this week's Power Rankings.
You know, they play a lot of man-to-man coverage, so that's what jumps out.
Zone or man doesn't really, maybe it doesn't matter. But some certain wide receivers feed off of man coverage. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I mean, when someone's playing you man-to-man coverage, they're basically saying that that guy's better than you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of receivers feed off of that.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Take us back to that first touchdown play. I mean, I'm sure it all happens in a flash as you're going through it, but when you go back and watch it on tape, you're like, wow, I really survived a lot of hits to get to the end zone there.
Yeah, it was a real fun play. Mm-hmm. Caught the ball. The guy tried to tackle me. I knew that I wasn't on the ground, so I stayed up and I just kind of let the guys push me in. So it was real fun.
Did you push yourself? Like, did you use the ball to kind of stay?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
it was unintentional, but it was all based off of instincts. Yeah.
To start a season like that, though, you know, to go right down the field as an offense in general, and then to finish it like that, is that about as good as it gets?
Yeah, man, it was great. It definitely pumped the team, and you know, that's what we're looking to do as an offense.
What's Marshawn add to the offense now that you actually saw him in a game?
Yeah, man, he looks great. He adds that physicality, and you know when he's getting the ball, when his number is called, you know he's going to do something with it. So it's great to have him.
Blocking is something people associate with obviously the offensive lineman, but as a wide receiver, how much pride do you take in that aspect of your game?
Yeah, man, it's important because those guys block for us on every pass play. So you wanna clear the path for them when they get a chance to break into the open field.
It seems like something that this particular group with Crab and Seth really take a lot of pride in that. Where do you think that comes from?
Just being a good teammate.
Yeah.
You know, just being a good teammate, wanting the offense to convert. You know, you block downfield for a running back, he's gonna instead of a 10, 15-yard gain, it's gonna be bigger than that.
Giorgio, after your journey, what does it mean to you this week to get named Special Teams Player of the Week?
Very special, but as I said after the game, for me it's about the team, and usually when an individual gets recognized, it's because the team did something special, and for me I rely so much on my teammates, both to block for me or else things would go pretty poorly, and to kind of hold me up when you're going through the tough times, when you're waiting for the call, when you're hoping to make it, and that's why I'm just, we had a little meeting after the walkthrough, and everyone was congratulating me, and just grateful to be able to share it with them.
Were you surprised you kicked 252 yards?
I don't want to say surprised. In the game you just kind of react to whatever the situation that presents itself, and got the opportunity to, and I'm grateful that I was able to contribute.
What have the last few days been like for you in terms of what have the last few days been like for you just in terms of people you've heard from? I'm sure you've heard from lots of people. And
sure.
What's that been like?
I've had a ton of support, just an outpouring of support from the community, and again, for me, this is as much of a personal journey as it is. I like to share it with as many people as possible, and especially those that have been with me every step of the way. And a lot of those people live in this area, Camp Lindo High School, the Cal community, and to be able to see how happy they are for me, not just as a kicker in the professional light of this experience, but as a person, it means a lot to me. And again, being able to share that with them after the impact that they've had on me, very special.
How close did you come to giving up a pump?
I'd rather not say, it was pretty close. Pretty close, yeah.
What went into, why did you decide to do a shot?
Well, you got to look at it, and I actually had a very long conversation with Coach Seeley back in the spring, and, he said, I understand what you're thinking, I understand what you're feeling. We kind of talked through the ping pong battle going on in my head and in my heart, and he said, you just kind of got to follow your heart. And, I knew what my heart wanted. Obviously you want to make it, you want to, succeed, you want to be able to be a part of something special, and this is a special place. But it's you give a lot of yourself, and sometimes when you're rejected so many times, it takes a lot to put yourself back out there. But in the end, if you look back on this in 20 years, I didn't want to have any regrets, and that ultimately helped kind of push me to making the decision to come back.
Giorgio, how would you say your time at Cal Berkeley helped you get to where you are now?
You experienced a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of ugly, and I had some great people in my life who supported me through it all. And again, I go back to that foundation. This isn't as much about me as it is about the people that have helped me get to this point. Have supported me, have sustained me. Everyone from the Raiders organization, the community, the Cal community, the coaches, the staff, my teammates there. They've all have played a part in this time, in this journey.
Giorgio, what can you tell me about, you talked about Camp Lindo, about Coach R, your kicking coach,
yeah,
and then secondly, Coach Mason.
Sure. Coach R was a great role model, and still is in my mind. I showed up as a sophomore, just want to hit a few kicks every now and then so I can go to the team barbecue because I heard the food was pretty good. And he kind of took me under his wing, taught me some of the basics of kicking, and was really a great role model for handling many different life situations. I really respect him for the way he walks in his faith. For me, it's very important. That's something that he and I share in common. And I see how he serves the community, and that's something that I always aspired to be able to give back like he has. And Coach Macy is just a prototypical high school coach. You know, he's a man from a different generation, a man from the past. And, you know, he chewed me out a couple of times in high school. Maybe that's prepared me for being able to just soak it all up. Again, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Giorgio, what have you been doing in between training camps for the last 6 years?
Trying to be responsible with adult life. You know, I've always kind of worked part-time, worked a little bit in real estate, was a tutor for a while, helped out with the Cow Kickers, was living in New York this past off season on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, working for a tech company. So, you know, you try not to shirk your real-world responsibilities while you chase this very elusive and wild and crazy dream.
And not to be redundant, but what's it like, you know, being in camp for 6 years with 4 different teams and getting there and now you're cut, you come back. What's it like kind of going through that journey?
Well, some people would think it'd get easier to get cut, but it actually got harder because the further along you go, the more you grow, the more you believe in yourself, the more you love being around your teammates, your coaches. And, you know, I consider myself very fortunate to have been called back 3 years in a row here. You know, whether it's because I'm good looking or I'm left footed, I don't know. I hope it's for the former, you know. But it's hard to kind of devote yourself to the team and want to give and want to serve. And you give yourself wholly and fully, and then the business decides that, you know, it's time for you to move on, at least for the time being. So it is difficult, you know, and that's something that why I keep going back to the great support I've had in my life, because there were difficult times when you question, you know, can I keep giving myself in this way only to be rejected again? And, you know, Shakespeare said it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Sometimes I question that, but again, right now, you know, I'm grateful for that. And in 20 years, hopefully I'll look back and say, you know, whatever happens, I gave it everything.
You talk about the left-footed. Obviously, it's an opportunity here, but does that limit your opportunity to take in other places in terms of teams that maybe wanted to have, they had a competition, they want two right-footed guys? Or two?
Sure. I've heard that. Whether that's an excuse or reality, I don't know. As I've gone through this journey, I've always tried to take full responsibility. I never want to blame anybody else. You know, if I didn't make the team, it's because I needed to do better. I needed to convince them, and obviously I didn't. So whether that was the reason or not, it's out of my control.
Was it never a hard decision coming back here, knowing they had a guy who was so established? You coming, you know, it's not like it's an open competition when you come here and
sure.
the house here. Was that ever difficult? Did you ever think maybe I should go somewhere where there might be a better chance to?
You know, you think of those things, but there's only one team calling, so if you want to go back to football, there's only one opportunity. And again, I say I'm grateful for it because, you know, what Coach Del Rio has done here, what this team is doing, and what this team will do is special. So to get to be a part of it, you know, intermittently for a couple of years, hopefully for, you know, moving forward for a long period of time, you know, after Seabass, I'm just grateful to have gotten the taste, you know, and gotten the chance to continue forward.
How many friends and family are you going to have Sunday at the game?
I don't know, not too many, not too many.
Knowing your journey, how overwhelming has it been handling all this newfound attention?
It's been a challenge, definitely, because, you know, in my mind, you know, you go on the field, you do your job, and there's a subtle joy to it, you know. And I think I've talked to older kickers, and they just say you kind of got to stay even keeled. And maybe my personality isn't necessarily of that, you know, cut from that cloth. But, you know, in this case, I'm very pleased with how the game went. But, you know, my mind was already thinking, how do I approach the next game like a pro? You know, this time from the inside out, not from the outside in.
In your first training camp, Brad Seeley was there. For him to be here now, as someone who saw and understands the start of your journey and to see where it has progressed, for you, what's that meant to have his support all along, being that phone call that would keep you in training camp?
It's been absolutely unbelievable. He's been a wonderful mentor, kind of a role model as well. You know, I think he's become attached to me, and I've become very attached to him in that, you know, I use him as a resource. You know, when I'm experiencing things, when I have some things I want to work on from a technical standpoint, when I'm curious about different situations and how they play out, how I should approach them, I'm very comfortable going to him. And he's always been very honest, always been very straightforward with me, and I feel like he's a great support for me.
Giorgio, I know you don't have a smartphone, but over the past couple days, how many times have you been near the text inbox?
A few times, and I'll say it again like I said the other day. If you've texted me congratulations or kind words of support and I haven't gotten back to you, I apologize. Just know that the feeling is absolutely reciprocated. I'm so grateful for the outpouring of support, and I hope to be able to share more moments with you.
All right, this one's all about Marshawn Lynch. It's the Jets and the Raiders. Beast Mode, of course, a Bay Area native who played for the Cal Bears, so he's been there for a long time. But he hasn't played an NFL game there since 2010. He's certainly going to have a lot to do if they end up beating the Jets in this one, isn't he?
You'd think so, and I would love to talk about Beast Mode all day. Jarrell Casey, I'm sorry for what he did to you on national TV in front of your family.
Why you got to bring up
I'm just saying.
It's Willie's cousin.
Family.
I'm sorry, but listen, that's one of the best defensive players in the league, and Beast Mode just was rude to him. Like I said, you got to send a letter of condolences to him. But I want to talk about this Raiders defense. And again, they weren't very good last year. They started off in the right direction. We expected Tennessee offense to be something more special than what it was. So I'm still trying to decide, did Tennessee not show up and play as expected, or did this Raiders defense really improve? I think Jets offense, we know what they bring to the table, which is not much. Raiders defense needs to get after it again and take another step in the right direction.
Well, let me tell you who was good last year and this year, their offense. The Raiders' offense is really good. And Derek Carr and his offense, they do a lot of things. We know Marshawn Lynch will probably get a little more touches, right? A little more yards, kind of fill him into the game. But guess what? The Jets go out and they draft Jamal Adams. Yeah. They also draft Marcus May because they know pass defense in that division, they got to stop one team, basically, and that's the Patriots. Now, this is probably one of the best tests they're going to have at stopping the pass because they're still going to throw the ball no matter how much success Marshawn Lynch has. Yeah. This is a good test for these two young rookies who they look to go out and solve that problem. So I just want to see how they react and how they play against one of the best passing offenses in the league.
Well, we have talked about them the entire offseason. The Raiders, one of the sexy teams to perhaps go to at least to the AFC Championship game against the Patriots and perhaps
Are you already predicting that?
No, I'm been talking about it the entire offseason.
I'm just making sure.
You want me to throw it out there right now?
No, it's too early. It's too early. Don't throw it out there.
Okay, I won't. Thanks, guys.
This NFL game preview brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Danny, it's the biggest spread of the week. The Oakland Raiders, 13.5-point favorites at home over the hapless New York Jets.
I think you're going to see some records set this season as far as biggest spreads we will ever see in the NFL with this New York Jets team. For the first time ever, we've seen it in the NBA. It does appear the Jets appear to be tanking and trying to get that #1 overall pick. They are that bad, and I don't think it's going to get any better against the Raiders. The biggest question is, will they be able to keep it close enough? But Derek Carr looked great in his opening win. He's now the face of that franchise, getting the big money behind him. I think I still like the Raiders with this one, even with that big number.
And the good news for the Jets, USC quarterback Sam Darnold looked pretty good last Saturday night in the win against Stanford. For all things NFL, keep it locked here, CBS Sports.